Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to another Suhoor Bite. Today I have for you Hala Tashkandi, a Saudi journalist, first female Saudi journalist to cover Hajj. I know you mostly from the International Arabic Language Day interview article you did with Ramzi Nasser and myself about notarabic.com and isthatarabic.com. Hala, thanks so much for being here.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for having me.
This is super exciting. I remember when we first spoke, I think the Habibis was sort of like an early thought.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
When we were doing that interview, yeah, that was an early idea, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I remember mentioning to you that it might be a good idea, it might be something fun, and you had spoken about being interested in doing something with Fauzi and Osama. So
Right.
I think I was one of the first probably to listen to the first episode and one of the first members of the official Habibis Discord.
Right. Yeah, no, it's been lovely. And it's been really fun to see it grow. I don't know. For me it feels like such a wonderful way of participating in the Arab culture. And I don't know, for me it's always been part of me being Arab, but it's also been something that, I'm half Dutch, half Arab. So feeling at home in a space that is more Arab is really lovely to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think it was the most interesting part, I think, of the Habibis Discord for me was seeing how different everybody is, despite all of us like sort of being Arab, like the subcultures within the subcultures within the subcultures. There's no one way to be Arab.
Right. There's so much. How is that for you? How is life for you that way?
Do have a bit of a varied background, I would say. I was born and raised in the United States.
Mhm.
I'm fully Saudi, but I do sort of very strongly relate to the American side of myself as much as the Saudi side of myself.
Right.
And like for us within Saudi Arabia itself, there's again subcultures within subcultures. My family's originally from the western part of Saudi Arabia, from the Mecca and Medina region, but I live in the capital city in Riyadh. So
Right.
so many different like cultures and ways of life, even within Saudi Arabia itself. So I think that's kind of
Right.
the most interesting part for me. There's not only not one way to be Saudi, but there's even like within one sphere, you can still have so many differences.
I think that's one of the most interesting things, and one of the things that I think we've been sort of running into in the games industry, obviously where I work, is that Arab is still sort of seen as monolithic.
Yeah.
Right, like there's the Arab experience, and I was like, there's really no such thing, and it's been bothering me for a while because obviously for a while I was the most visible Arabs in games, perhaps, and you kind of get the like, so what's it like to be Arab, and I'm like, I don't know, but it has been interesting, sort of seeing that flourish, right? Like I feel like it's not quite an understanding yet, but there's a hint of understanding at this diversity of Arab presence and the diversity of Middle Eastern presence, the diversity of Muslim presence. We might not remain in monolith.
Yeah, I remember we had this discussion where we talked about you being called a visible Muslim in the industry. It's,
Right.
I mean, it's a term that I think I dislike as much as you do, partly because, again, there's not just one way to be Muslim. There are so many different ways people identify with their sort of Muslim self. And it's really, really kind of difficult to lump all of the Muslims into one category.
Right.
Obviously there are sort of like uniting factors, like Ramadan being one of them. Right now, everybody is sort of like in this
Right.
communal spirit. We've all got like, despite this pandemic that's happening, it's been sort of unifying as much as it's been isolating.
For sure. The Habibis Discord has been really helpful in giving me a bit more of that cheer because last year I did Animal Crossing, where I did Iftar and Suhoor in Animal Crossing, but I haven't played that game for months, so it felt kind of weird.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think all of us kind of really fell into Animal Crossing pretty hard during the beginning of the pandemic, and that just kind of died after a while.
Yeah.
It lost some of the appeal, I think. But I do realize actually that I come from a place of immense privilege to be able to be in a place where Ramadan is so culturally celebrated. Like it's everywhere. It's almost unavoidable, unescapable. Not that one would want to escape
Right.
it, mind you, but just say
Right.
that like I'm
It's
surrounded by it in a way that I think a lot of
right.
Muslims maybe are not right now, and my
Right.
heart does go out to them.
What is it like there?
Right now, I mean, with it being in the middle of the pandemic and all, it's a bit more muted, I'd say. But it's still kind of prevalent everywhere. When you go out to the shops, even like to the supermarkets or whatnot, everything is just kind of like Ramadan this, Ramadan that. The obviously traditional Ramadan foods are all on sale, and you've got like these ads for them everywhere. Here in Saudi, we associate Ramadan very strongly with a drink called Vimto. I don't know if you've had it. I don't know if,
Hmm.
yeah.
I've heard. I've not had it. I've heard of it.
Yeah, we Ramadan is like synonymous with Vimto at this point in Saudi Arabia. So you
Right.
see it everywhere. The ads for it are always very, Ramadan themed. When you're watching TV, when you're just even like driving down the street or something, it's like Ramadan everywhere. And
Right.
I've been seeing, like people on social media, my friends, my family posting pictures of their houses that are decorated. My mom did this beautiful sort of decoration at home where she's got like the Ramadan lanterns and just like the furnishings everywhere, just like crescent
Right.
moons everywhere you look.
The lights, the blankets, the lanterns, the everything.
The doily on the PlayStation.
The doilies.
The
It's very
doily.
important to get the doilies.
Oh, of course.
For me, Ramadan has always been sort of a thing that I celebrate inwards and with my direct family and maybe with friends of the family. But as I traveled, it became a bit more communal because I would find myself in different places with different Muslims or get to meet Muslims on the road or in a mosque somewhere.
The sort of like communal tables in the street and whatnot. We don't really do that in Saudi. We tend to celebrate in our
Mm,
homes with our families and our loved ones. It's a very family centric month for us in Saudi. But I
right.
have always harbored that desire to do like an iftar with strangers in Egypt. So
Inshallah, inshallah. Hala, if people want to follow your work, if people want to see what you're up to, where can they find you?
I am extremely active on Twitter. Some would say too active on Twitter. I think we have that in
I would
common.
never say that. I would never say that because if I say that about you, I have to say it about myself. So
Yeah, so we are both appropriately active on Twitter, let's say.
exactly,
Follow along
exactly.
with me. I have a lot of fun on Twitter. I'm sure you will too.
It's Hala Tashkandi,
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay, I'll put it in the show notes for everybody listening. Hala, thanks so much for being here, and thanks so much for chatting with me a bit.
It was absolutely my pleasure.
We'll see each other on Twitter.
Inshallah. Take care. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.